Welcome. In this vlog, I will be discussing why we need another Superman movie, which is Man of Steel, which comes out next summer. With the Dark Knight franchise coming to a close, both Warner Bros. And DC are going to the next obvious choice for a superhero franchise. Can anyone take a second to guess who that superhero may be? You're wrong if you thought Howard the Duck, and I'm sorry to give your hopes up. Superman the Man of Steel will be the next big franchise from DC and Warner Bros. But as a Superman fan, I get told a lot, didn't they already make Superman movies? Weren't they already made? These people don't know a whole lot about what they're talking about. The character Superman has touched the lives of millions since his debut in 1939, when the nation needed a hero to idolize. People to this day look at the character as a metaphor for their excellence and achievements, defying bravery and courage, and overall confidence, where they see the character in themselves, as he inspires us to do better and go further. But some still ask, why do we need another Superman movie? And I'm going to take this moment to explain why. It's the same as we needed the superhero from the beginning, since his debut. Since I'm on the subject, I'm only going to go up to 1979 and skip the radio dramas, the George Reeves show, and whatnot. When the first Christopher Reeve movie was released, superheroes were looked at as camp and cheesy, as most of us only knew of the 1966 Batman series. It was hard to take superheroes seriously. I think it took Hollywood about 20 or 30 years to do so. Director Alexander Solkine took up the challenge of bringing the comic book hero to life in a bold new way with dazzling special effects and dynamic fight scenes. They picked Christopher Reeve for a good reason. They wanted Superman to be a character of simplicity, rather than something you would have seen in the Italian films, which featured a lot of muscle men heroes. The Superman that Reeve portrayed didn't focus on bending bars or breaking down walls. He was meant to be a friend, which the character quoted. Over the span of 50 years, the amazing things Superman could do were always constantly being updated. When fans were promised not just one but two amazing Superman films, things took a landslide when director Richard Donner was fired from the franchise for overspending the budget. This limited Superman's potential and would bring the franchise to its knees. While Superman 2 offered dynamic fight scenes between General Zod, the film lacked Richard Donner's amazing special effects. As 2 did well, Superman 3 was a disappointment and box office bomb, showcasing comedian Richard Pryor and trying to make Superman a character of comical proportions. The Solkines tried to restart the franchise with Supergirl, and results were even worse. Despite Reeves said he'd never return as Superman, he did so in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. With a lousy script and poor special effects, the movie spelled the end of the franchise. It seemed likely. They stopped taking superheroes seriously until a little-known director named Tim Burton revamped people's interest of 1989's Batman. During the early 90s of the death of Superman and the Lois and Clark series, there is still a hunger for more Superman material. Much has changed since the comics revamp in 1986. As fans like myself continue to read the comics of the 1990s and marvel at the dynamics of the Batman movies, and there's something I really gotta admit here, and I really hate to admit it, but please, I'm begging you all, please take pity on me, because I was 11 years old at the time. When I was a kid, I liked Batman and Robin. please take pity on me. I was only a kid. I did not understand that today I cannot stand to watch it. I cannot stand to look at it. I cannot stand to even think about it. But I remember when I saw that scene where Batman and Robin came down on those like surfboards or whatever. I think the aerial dynamics of that maybe led me to fantasize about another Superman movie, along kind of the glossiness of the Schumacher movies, but I later stopped that vision too. Yeah, so just please take pity on me, because I was only a child. But anyways, as technology began to progress, the desire for another Superman movie became even greater than before. As Tim Burton's Superman movie was canned in the late 90s, news about the film began to circulate. In 2001, the WB series aired Smallville, about a young Clark Kent growing up in Smallville, Kansas. With amazing films that came out in the early 2000s, the desire for another Superman movie and the overall superhero material was wolf-like for many fans. Director Sam Raimi brought Spider-Man to the big screen, and thus the Marvel movie era begun, and the once ahead DC was now behind. Hollywood was finally taking superheroes seriously again. The 2003 Matrix Reloaded featured a Superman-like flying scene. If you're a Superman fan like myself, I hope you felt cheated, seeing a trench coat wearing Keanu Reeves trying to be Superman, when we hadn't even had another Superman film, and we haven't even seen a flight scene like this before, done these kind of special effects. Actors began to circulate over who was going to play Superman, such as Justin Timberlake and Ashton Kutcher. Then finally, in the late 2005, director of the X-Men franchise, Bryan Singer, began to take on the project of making another Superman movie. This was the moment I had waited for 20 years, and most of you more. A well-known actor named Brandon Routh was cast. And to our amazement, he looked like the fallen Christopher Reeve. But negativity began to circulate when a photo of the actor in the Superman costume was released, and fans nitpicked over things like the size of the S, the boots were too small, and the S on the belt was unnecessary, and that kind of stuff. Why the colors were maroon instead of red, nobody knows. And die-hard comic fans began to really pick at this movie, but for us fans, it was a dream come true. We were seeing production images each month as the movie was being made. And finally, in April of 2006, the full trailer finally came out. And with Smallville entering its epic 5th season at the same time, it seemed like such an awesome time to be a Superman fan. In the 05-06 period, movies were lacking at the box office, and the box office was filled with remakes of old TV shows and 1970s films. As the Batman franchise began to rebirth itself, we would only hope that Superman would return in a bigger and better way, and would bring magic, hope, and wonder back to the movies and sweep us away once again when we needed that magic the most. As the day was approaching in late June of 2006, early reviews were already negative. But us fans still went into the theater with eager anticipation. After years and years, the moment had finally came, and us Superman fans had finally gotten another Superman movie. Oh boy. And the reviews were very, very mixed. In some cases, you had to be a Superman fan to really get it. Some were blown away, and others were just confused. Singer made this his own. In some cases, it wasn't a disappointment. It wasn't a bomb, nor did it spell box office flop. What did it spell? It brought a lot of us fans back to the magic of the Reeve movies with its opening scenes, which resembled that of the 1979 opening sequence, but redone in CGI. The similarities between Kevin Spacey's Luthor and Gene Hackman's were very noticeable. And of course, Brandon Routh using some of Christopher Reeve's lines. And some scenes were very similar in general. The movie was not too light and not too dark, but mostly dark, slow-paced at times, just like this vlog, and had little dialogue. An enjoyable movie, but I felt like things were missing. Where was the magic? I wanted this movie, this character, this superhero, to bring magic back to the movies that was missing at the time. And it didn't. There was no inspiration. I thought maybe if I saw it a second time I would understand. Brandon Routh looked the part and did a great job, but didn't have a good tone or good sense of poise. Again, he's muscular, but not in a way that would immediately come off as threatening. Kate Bosworth was miscasted as Lois Lane, and everyone agrees. Same with Frank Langella as Perry White. Sam Worthington as Jimmy Olsen was fantastic, as Clark Kent would say in the first movie. Kevin Spacey was awesome as Lex Luthor. Sorry, it's really hard doing these vlogs. I do have to write a script because there's a lot to say, so please bear with me here. But this Lex Luthor was very ruthless, demonizing, sadistic, and more diabolical. For this time, he didn't just put a kryptonite chain around Superman's neck, but stabbed him and beat him up. Spoiler alert, but who cares at this point? Lois's son turned out to be Superman's son. Since the movie picked up after Superman 2, their union in the fortress, when he gave up his powers, led them to conceive a child. People had mixed feelings about this, and I think this became the movie's ultimate downfall. Hell, people didn't like the idea of Lois having a kid in general. Superman returns, a disappointment nonetheless. Mixed reviews, mixed audiences, and overall mixed feelings. Left the picture in odd demographics. Like all superhero movies, talks of a sequel start immediately, and Singer said his follow-up would be more violent. You'd have Superman face off an alien, and possibly have his son even killed off. Brandon Routh said he couldn't wait to punch something, for that was another downfall of the movie, and audience had mixed reactions about Superman not throwing a single punch. Even Reeve did a little bit of hostility. As we dragged on in 2007, talks of the HR sequel began to disappear. In 2008, 2009, I felt like we needed a Superman movie more than ever. With a bad economy, moviegoers were turning to comedies rather than action films. We needed a graceful hero more than ever. But just like when Superman left for Krypton, he was nowhere to be seen. Smallville was losing its original touch and getting the Superman continuity off balance. Superman fans were waiting in a cold, dark, rainy alleyway to hear some good news. Then, 2001, as Smallville was finally wrapping up, news circulated of a Superman movie called Man of Steel. Like The Dark Knight, it's a standalone title and gives a new perspective to the character. Will Brandon Routh be able to return? I personally thought I'm sorry, like I said, I gotta read a script here and there's a lot to say, it's just really hard. I personally think they just put this off for too long. I just didn't want this to become like the Superboy show where like freaking like they changed like an actor in like the second season. That was just stupid. I didn't want that to happen to movies either. But anyways, sorry here. Since it wasn't Brandon Routh's fault, Superman Returns wasn't a huge success. I thought he deserved a second chance. Fans started a petition for Ralph. Zack Snyder was signed on to direct another Superman movie. He was director of Watchmen and 300 and was a visionary director whose style was perfect. But Snyder discarded the petition for Ralph, and news began to circulate of who was going to play Superman again. Rumor had it they wanted an actor in his late 30s or 40s. And finally, as I logged on to MSN, I heard the shocking news. I was speechless, breathless, without voice, and in shock, and in awe, but in overall outrage. As so was everyone else. A British actor was cast as Superman. Fans like myself and the media caught on to this outrage. I hope maybe there is still a chance for Ralph. But once the unknown actor named Henry Cavil, I spelled his name right, got on the cover of Time magazine quickly, stating he was a new Superman. I felt so sorry for Ralph that he got demoted. It was kind of like Lucy taking the football from Charlie Brown, or Cher outshining Sonny, or Harrison Ford outshining Mark Hamill, if you know what I mean. But as I took this one day at a time, I was able to embrace Cavil. He had a really good resume. He had a different take to bring to the character. He had the right poise and the right stature. And I hope he has the right tone, for he must lose his British accent. I think it was the right time to take the character in a new direction and move away from the Reeve movies and focus on the kind of Superman that was introduced in 1986 with his bulked up physique. When the first image of Cavil came out, reviews were positive as opposed to Ralph. I thought Cavil looked very angry, looked somewhat like an evil Superman, but nonetheless I was excited. Most of the movie has been under wraps and there were little production stills. And the recent teaser trailer shows little to what the movie's going to be like and what Cavil is going to be like as Superman. Sorry about this. This is just really hard to get through. And the trailer has left us with many unanswered questions, but it's got a top-billed cast of Amy Adams as Lois Lane, and Kevin Costner as his Earth Dad, and Russell Crowe as Jor-El. I kind of wish Lex Luthor and Jimmy Olsen were cast. Anticipation is higher than before, and there hasn't been this kind of excitement since 1978. Cavil won't deliver that same soups as Reeve, and will use brutal force and more violent physicality. It will be that Superman that breaks down walls and bends steel bars. This will be different from any Superman movie, violent, dark, and will have what was missing in Superman Returns, lots of action. Only time can determine its outcome. We need another Superman movie more than ever, and I hope you guys feel the same way I do. Please leave comments and show your support. Thank you.